Today I'm finding out if a sweet potato can filter aquarium water. I'll also be adding a few creatures to up the stakes. Over the next few months we'll see what happens and overcome some big challenges. Stay tuned because what happens genuinely shocked me. Let's get into it. I have this fish tank in my room that I was going to get rid of, but I realized it'd be a waste to throw out all of this sand that could instantly cycle the tank. So I decided to keep it and build something I've been wanting to for a long time. To start off, I'm going to grab a couple rocks and put them in the back corner of the tank. The plan for this build is to keep it really natural and relatively simple because the sweet potato I'm going to add later will end up spreading tons of roots that will take over the tank anyway. I ordered a plant I've never used before called My Rio Green because I've heard it's really hardy and grows fast, which is exactly what I'm wanting for this build. I spread it along the back corner throughout the rocks and driftwood because I'm hoping it will get more dense and make some good hiding spots for our fish. Then using my trusty milk jug, I fill up the tank 1 gallon at a time and it's looking pretty good, but we still have to fill in a lot of the empty space with more plants. I cut this piece off one of my taller plants because it propagates really well. Now it's time to add in a little plant holder where the star of the tank is going to grow. Our sweet potato. The key here is to only put the bottom third of the potato in the water, otherwise it will rot. Sweet potatoes need a ton of light to grow, so I'm adding in this big overhead light for now to try and give it as much light as it needs to thrive. I was nervous because if I messed anything up, the potato would rot and this project would get delayed by a few weeks. But before we talk about all the bad stuff that's going to end up happening in this video, let's finish planting the tank. I got a handful of different plants so we could have a good variety because the fish I ordered specifically for this tank deserves an awesome home. He's flying all the way from across the world to be here. One by one I pop in all the floating plants and I have a feeling that pretty soon these are going to absolutely take over the top of this tank, so stay tuned for that. Because of the inevitable plant takeover, I'm going to add a floating ring to separate them from the potato. Then I quickly add another light to this tank, which ties it together and completes our scape. Right now the tank's clear and looks super empty, but by the end of this video it's going to change completely. So until then, we'll let this tank sit for a while the fish packs his bags for the big move and the potato starts developing roots. As the days go by, the potato slowly wakes up and realizes it's time to grow. It starts to branch out some roots, and on day 14, they're honestly pretty long, reaching the bottom of the tank in some areas and starting to pull nutrients from the water. The floating plants are also settling in and growing roots of their own. Thankfully, this is the type of thing our fish is going to love and he'll feel right at home when he arrives. I also start to see lots of tiny life in this tank, like a mini snail that's eating any algae he can find, or these super tiny microfauna that are all over the tank helping to break down waste. Because some of the floating plants are dying and melting off, it's creating a gross film on top of the water, and I realized that this setup is a little too stagnant. So I decided to add this tiny surface skimmer into the tank, which should help clear up any of that film. Also, if you guys are interested in any of the products I'm using in this video, I'll link them in the description so you can remake this tank if you want to. I also put an air stone in the back to get a little more oxygen in the water because tomorrow our fish arrives and I want this tank to be super healthy when he gets here. When the new fish came in, I immediately knew something was wrong. He wasn't swimming at all, he would just move a little bit and then float back up to the surface over and over. So I immediately started a drip acclimation to get him used to the new tank water as fast as possible so I could get him into his new home. I was really hoping that a slow acclimation would help him feel better, but after about 30 or 45 minutes, he wasn't looking much better. I scooped him up and slowly added him into his new tank, having to help him leave the net. You can see right here by how he's swimming that something is definitely wrong. He makes his way over to some plants and kind of hangs out at the surface getting his bearings. I'm really hoping for a full recovery, and I think once he gets used to the better water quality, the right temperature, and some good food, he'll come around. I figured the best thing to do at this point would be to get the lights off of the tank and give him some time to settle in. 5 days later, he's doing way better and behaving like a perfectly healthy betta fish, eating, spreading his fins, and swimming all over exploring. In my opinion, this is the prettiest betta fish I've ever had on this channel, and I'm really bad at naming fish, so drop some comments down below of what we should name him. I'm thinking something super unique to his story and color scheme. But this story is also about our sweet potato, and that too is in really rough shape. As you can see here, it's all wrinkly, and trust me on this one, it smells horrible. So I decided to remove it from the tank before it ruins the water quality. It grew a ton of roots, but unfortunately it didn't have enough light to sprout any leaves. So I ended up throwing it away and planting another potato off camera, and then skipped ahead 25 days to where the new potato started to show its first signs that it was going to go the distance. This potato was looking way more healthy, and after doing some reading, I learned that once a leaf or two sprouts, the potato is much less likely to rot because it's actively using energy to grow leaves. I put it in the tank and installed 2 small grow lights directly above it so that we don't have the issue of not having enough light. Below the surface, you can see all the roots from the floating plants starting to take over, which honestly looks really cool in my opinion, and our fish seems to love swimming through them. I'm so glad he made a full recovery because he has a ton of personality and is one of my favorite fish I've ever owned. It seemed like every day that passed, the leaves on the potato were growing faster and faster, eventually sending vines upward 12 inches or so in the air. I had the lights blasting 12 hours a day on the potato directly, which seemed to be really helping with the growth. I really like the fact that this tank is fully being filtered by a potato and lots of floating plants. At the start of this video, the plants barely covered 1/4 of the surface, but now they're starting to take over, and I found myself removing handfuls every day. The potato roots were also getting crazy, reaching the front of the tank, and our Betta was definitely a huge fan. Dead plant matter was starting to accumulate, so I quickly cleaned it up, and then after the work was done, I wanted to teach the Betta a trick. I grabbed a pellet and put it on my finger an inch or so out of the water, and our Betta was super curious. It didn't take him long to jump out of the water and grab the pellet off of my finger. Like I said earlier, this guy has tons of personality. And right here in this shot, you can see him starting to develop light blue scales all over his body, giving him kind of a coy look. He was really competing with the potato, and I wasn't too sure who was the star of this video anymore. But as we'll see in a second, the potato growth is about to explode. On day 75, one of the vines is growing insanely fast up my wall, reaching 3 or 4 feet. And some of the leaves were getting covered in this stuff that almost looked like salt. I kind of assumed it was because of the minerals in the water, but if anyone knows, comment down below. I figured now that it's warm outside, it's time to remove it from the tank and replant it into a pot so I can eventually grow some more sweet potatoes. It didn't come out easily because the roots were super long and were branching through the driftwood and made their way down into the sand. Eventually I got it out, and it was time to replant it, so I grabbed a pot and dug some space for the massive roots to go. I figured I'd have to replant it into a bigger pot soon because now that it has full nutrients from the dirt, it's going to grow way faster. Heading back over to the tank, our Betta is enjoying all his room now that the long roots are out of the water. But before we end the video, he wants to say bye. I decide that before the video's over, I want to get rid of a couple of the floating plants to help clean up the space and let a little more light into the water. So I grab a big scoop of them and throw them into one of my other tanks where it will probably soon take over there as well. If you made it to the end of this video, thanks so much for watching. And if you haven't yet, turn on post notifications because my next video is by far my favorite I've ever made. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.